The last game I ever played, I already knew it was gonna be my last. So when it was over, I wasn't grieving football. I was grieving a reason to show up for myself. And I will explain that. There's a difference between losing a sport and losing your spine. Nobody told me that distinction, and I had to find out the hard way. I played D2 ball at Pace University and then Montclair, and when I walked away, it was on my own terms. Not because the porter wasn't calling, but because I figured I had to hang up the jersey. At this point in my life, D3 football was no longer serving me. And this is not no disrespect to anybody playing D3. I salute y'all for actually playing without no financial incentives. But here's what I wish someone told me the day it ended. And the crazy thing is, it doesn't have nothing to do with the game. That's pretty common for us to miss the game after it ends. What I'm talking about is the reason that your body gets out of bed. I remember the morning after my last game at Montclair. I knew it was over and I knew it was coming. So when it came, I didn't feel sad, but nor did I feel free. It's like I was running at full speed and everything just stopped. Stagnant, quiet, stillness and peace, in a way. Every alarm I ever set had a reason, whether that be a practice, a lift, a film session, or a class that kept me eligible so I could stay on the field. Every rep was directed towards my performance, whether that be a coach I was watching, a scoreboard, or a roster spot. That structure right there wasn't just football, it was a spine that held everything else up in my life. Think of it like a house with 4 pillars. I was the house, and football, the curriculum, the structure it created, was the pillars holding me up. See, when football ended, the production didn't stop, but the purpose for producing did stop. And here's what most people miss. I stopped playing on my own terms. I knew it was coming way before I made that decision. It was definitely premeditated, but I still couldn't articulate the vacancy that it left in my identity. Because really, it isn't about the game, it's about what the game was doing that you can't see with your physical eyes. It was giving every single thing I did a reason to matter, and without that structure, I wasn't really lazy, I was just unanchored. And that's probably what you're facing too, being a former athlete coming out of a season of playing sports. And that right there is what nobody told me, not a teammate or a coach. Nobody said the problem that you will face will be discipline. The problem that you face though, is that everything your discipline was built around will be gone. And so I did what most guys would do. I told myself I was adjusting, I'm just going through a phase. But truth be told, you can't adjust with a missing spine. That is the feeling most former athletes articulate incorrectly. Some call it lost motivation or depression and move on. And I almost did too. But I realized it had nothing to do with healing or moving on. It had everything to do with refusing to let go. I didn't find my way back through a conversation or through therapy or a breakthrough that I had with a mentor. I found my way back exactly where it started, right under the barbell. I refused to let my athleticism die. The edge it gave me, the memories that it carried, everything I had built was truly mine that I worked for. So yes, football was over, but the athlete was very much still in me, and I'm sure it's in you too. Y'all see the athlete in me? Whoa! Oh, come on, boy, stop playing. Double swipe. Oh yeah, baby. Come on, another one. Long arm. Oh! Training became the bridge of who I was and who I was becoming. So the more I showed up for me and not my team or a coach, the more I realized something that football never taught me. The inner child in me that started playing for fun and developed into a man that put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into his craft did not deserve to be abandoned. He or she is still in there and needs to know that someone is showing up for him. Going back to the bar wasn't instinct, it was rebellion. And although I wasn't playing football no more, staying connected to my athlete identity showed me who I was training for. This connection didn't just lead back to the gym, but it led to 2 things that I needed to hear before I could build anything that actually would last. Your identity was never the sport. The sport was just the arena, but you were always an athlete. So when the sport ends, your position ends. But what keeps evolving is your identity as an athlete. The traits you developed as a competitor, I'm talking about the discipline, the competitive edge, the ability to absorb pain and keep going, none of that was issued to you by a uniform. You built that in the dark when no one was watching, and it belongs to you. Wherever you go, that goes too. 2, God already had the next chapter written before the whistle blew. So your ending in sports wasn't the ending. It was just a transition point from chapter 1 to chapter 2. Everything you built in the weight room, the grit, the character, the determination, that was never just preparation for a team, it was preparation for life. Consider the sports you played as a classroom. Teamwork, camaraderie, leadership skills, all of that was never meant to stay on the field. So remember, your body keeps you connected to your purpose. Your mind is constantly evolving and being rebuilt, and your spirit has to be anchored. This is not a coincidence. This is the exact system that got me through my hardships. So if you're waking up not knowing what you're training for, The next video explains exactly what that is. Y'all stay tuned. Peace and love. 24K, logging out.